Now this is the 2024 all-new Ford Ranger. This one specifically is a Lariat model, which means it has all kinds of cool tech and it's got all the leather seats, the luxury features and everything like that. And it looks pretty good. Today I'm gonna be telling you 5 things I love about the new Ford Ranger. I'm Aiden, you're watching God Next. So just first impressions with how this thing looks, it is way better than the previous Ranger was. Of course, we had that Ranger forever and it didn't look terrible, but it looked pretty mundane compared to this one, which looks a lot bigger, brawnier. Just overall, it's a cooler looking truck. Its stature and its stance makes it look like it's a little larger than the last one, at least in my opinion. And I think the front end looks so much better. You have new headlights, you have a new whole front grille, new bumpers, and in the back you have new taillights and everything like that. It looks a little more boxier than the last one in my opinion. The last one looked a little more rounded, especially in the front end area, and it makes it look like a heavier duty truck. Not that it is much of a heavier duty truck, but it definitely looks that way. I think Ford did a really good job with the appearance of the new Ranger, and unfortunately this one isn't the Raptor, which looks bigger and brawnier and is way more off-road capable than this one is, but still, I think Ford did a really good job with this. All right, now on the inside of the Ranger, let's talk about the technology when it comes to this new version of it. Of course, there's a lot more going on in here than there was on the previous one. The first thing you're going to notice is this gauge cluster in here that is straight out of vehicles like the Ford Explorer ST, the F-150, the new Escape that just came out, pulled straight from those cars. It's a good size, it's very easy to read, it's very intelligible and everything like that. Just a classic Ford digital gauge cluster that they've been putting in their cars since about 2020. I think it looks great, and of course there's going to be additional features that come with it if you get the Raptor version of this car, but yeah, no, pretty cool to see. Of course, the next thing is going to be the interior center screen that houses the main infotainment system. We finally have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto inside of the Ford Ranger. Of course, this is a Lariat, so this has a lot more of the uppity features that you'd have compared to the lower trim levels, and this one does cost just shy of $50,000, which is pretty high for an American mid-sized truck. It starts to get into F-150 territory, in my opinion, with that price, which kind of stops justifying the additional cost of the Ranger. But still, I think this does have the technology, the looks, and the capabilities to justify its cost. It's just that it's now kind of pricing some people out of the car market for the Ford Ranger. But anyways, the technology in here is great. We first saw screens like this in the Ford Mustang Mach-E with Sync 4. Of course, you have all the cool apps in it. They kind of ripped off Tesla here with the games and stuff that they'll have inside the infotainment system, especially on the Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning. It's less in the gas-powered vehicles, but in the electric cars with Sync 4, they have the games and stuff that they completely ripped off Tesla for. But anyways, yes, this is a much better infotainment system. They've left the climate controls outside of the center screen, which I'm very appreciative of. And if you still want to use them in the screen, of course, you can go in there and change them in the screen. Heated seats and heated steering wheel, of course. And overall, yeah, the technology in here is great. Of course, you have assisted steering, adaptive cruise control, everything like that. Doesn't seem like this is going to be getting Blue Cruise anytime soon, so don't hold your breath for that. Wireless charging, multiple drive modes, 2 high, 4-wheel low. Yeah, pretty nice and high-tech interior, especially compared to the last version of the Ranger. Now, the fourth thing I want to talk about in the Ranger, it's still on the interior, is going to be the overall luxurious feelings you get on the higher level trims on the Ford Ranger. Overall, I really think this is a massive improvement over the last one. You have a lot more soft touch materials on the inside of the new Ranger compared to the last version of it, and it actually feels like you're driving a higher quality, higher tier mid-sized pickup truck compared to the Lariat of the yester model. But you know, the seats are a lot more comfortable. You have leather on the dashboard. Of course, the steering wheel feels nicer. It looks cooler. Leather on the armrest. Of course, like I said, you have lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, plenty of drive modes, dual zone, climate control. Like I said, heated seats with a heated steering wheel. And it overall feels like there's less plastics on the inside of this car. The back seat space is still pretty poor, but yes, they do have leather seats back there as well. Overall, they've just made the interior of this truck feel a lot more worth its price. Like I said, just shy of $50,000. Honestly, it feels like a $50,000 truck to me with just everything that it's got going on. Of course, it's going to have a pretty good towing capacity. Last generation was around 7,000 pounds with its powertrain of a 2.3 liter inline four. So still very capable, but very, very nice compared to the last version of it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with the Ranger is the fact that Ford has managed to raise the towing capacity of the vehicle without actually changing the power numbers at all. This still makes the same 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque from the same 2.3 liter inline four. Of course, now we have the 2.7 liter V6 and the 3 liter V6 in the Raptor model for this car, but because this is the normal Lariat, a lot more people will be buying this. This is what we're going to go off of. The towing capacity now is increased to 7,500 pounds over 7,000, which is less than a 10% increase. But what's impressive is the fact that they've done that without raising any power numbers at all, which is a good thing. You know, they spend less on developing the engine and the motor out and still manage to get people a higher towing capacity, even though if it is as low as something like a 7 or 8% increase. On top of that, I have on my phone here the advanced towing package that you can get if you get a rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive model of the Ranger. It's going to include a trailer brake controller, a Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which basically helps you back up the trailer from the infotainment screen when you put it in reverse and you are towing something, and of course reverse park aid with trailer guidance, which also helps you park the trailer in reverse to make sure you don't hit anything or ding anything up. Pretty cool tech that's been brought over from the F-150 into the Ranger. So I'm happy to see that they've still focused on top of the luxury and the technology, focused on making this a better truck for people who just need to do truck-worthy things. And those are 5 things I love about the all-new 2024 Ford Ranger. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video.